you know why you clicked this video. Let's talk about Buccaneers. So for the longest time, I was told that I should be watching this show called The Buccaneers on Apple TV. And I was kind of like, oh, I have such a long list. I mean, I do still have a long list of shows to watch. But finally, 2 days ago, I decided to watch The Buccaneers Season 1 in preparation for Season 2 that's going to be coming out this month in a couple of weeks here. So you're probably asking yourself, well, what did Melody think? Well, I have some news for you. I fucking loved it. Oh my God.
Brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
This was like up my alley without a doubt. It kind of took me a little bit to kind of get into it. Episode 1 was a little rough. We'll talk about it later, but it was a little rough for me, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't really know. This writing is kind of weird, because I was expecting much more like Bridgerton. But this show, to me, if it can make sense to you, is like a combination of Bridgerton, The Summer I Turned Pretty, and My Lady Jane. In a way, if you've watched all 3 of these shows, I think you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. But aside from that first episode, midway through episode 2, I was hooked. I was like, okay, love triangle. Okay, Guy Thorpe. I get you. I understand where we're going with this. And I have so much to say about Guy and Theo and Nan and this love triangle. But before we get into it, I kind of just want to talk overall about the show. The show is basically about 5 American women who moved to England to basically find love and get titles to higher their ranks up. It takes place in the Gilded Age. So it's very like Bridgerton, but Bridgerton's more like Regency era. This is more Gilded Age in the US. But it was really great to see kind of the 2 different worlds, right? Because when you watch Bridgerton, it mostly takes place in England, right? So everyone acts the same. This show is very different because you have these 5 women who are very outspoken and very American moving to England, where every woman is meant to be like quiet and silent and do everything that their husband says. And also like it covers like these friendships with these 5 women. And it's just really great kind of seeing each storyline for each sister, because they all have a very different thing that they are overcoming in their marriage, in society. So let's talk about our 5 women. So our 5 women are Nan, Conchita, Lizzie, Ginny, and Mabel. And Lizzie and Mabel are sisters, and Nan and Ginny are sisters, and Conchita is just the other friend. With these 5 women, we have 5 different situations that we are dealing with. Nan is in a love triangle with the Duke, Theo, and his really close guy friend, Guy. So that's a shit show. Then you have Conchita, who is married to an English man named Richard, and her family and that society is just not really accepting, specifically his family. They're not accepting of her and the way that she likes to live her life. Then we have Lizzie, who at first is somebody who is also looking for a man in England. She really wants society. She really wants title. And she gets, and we're going to go into some SA topics, so just letting you guys know. She does have a moment of SA with Dick's brother, and Dick is the one who is married to Conchita. So Lizzie is pretty much going through the season a little bit traumatized at first and trying to, you know, become one with herself and not let this guy just have control over what happened to her. And then we have Ginny. So Ginny is the one that marries James, who is Dick's brother. And at first she doesn't realize that he is a horrible person. She just thinks like, she just wants the title and be in the society and to be loved so badly that she just is like after him so bad that I think he knows that. And he's like, you know what, I'm gonna marry this girl because she wants this so bad, I'm gonna be able to control her. And that's what ends up, like, that's what her main storyline, and actually becomes a very central part of this show, and a very big part of the ending of this show is this character. And then we finally have Mabel, who is our queer gal in the society, who is basically, you know, pretending to be someone who she is not, and she absolutely hates it. And she goes through a lot in this season, you know, trying to figure out, you know, if she should just be herself in this society. And she ends up having a relationship of sorts with Dick and James' sister, Honoria, I think her name is Honoria, something like that. Honoria, I think her name is. Who, by the way, guys, I did not know. The actress who plays her, the whole time I was watching her, I'm like, she looks so familiar. Who is she? Like, who is this actress? She's actually Kate Winslet's daughter. I'm like, we've got a Nepo baby up in here. Okay, so I really want to talk about the love triangle here, because the love triangle between Theo, Nan, and Guy is a love triangle, right? And I like to, and it was funny when we found out that they were friends, because we were like, oh, fuck, they're not just two guys who don't know each other, they're friends. And normally it's always, we see these tropes where it's like two brothers and the girl has to choose between two brothers.
It's not bad, it's just not good.
So instead of doing that, they were like, you know what? Let's make them friends so it won't be as horrible. Because I know there's a lot of people who watch these shows and they're always like, oh man, but like they're brothers. Can we stop having women like be between brothers? So I love the fact that they were like, we're not going to make them brothers. We're just going to make them friends. It makes it a little bit easier. So, okay. And they did a really good job at portraying this love triangle, right? Showing these two guys and why they would be a good match for Nan, right? They both listen to her. They both accept her for who she is. But at the end of the day, the end game is going to be Guy. It is. It just, if it's not Guy, I will come back out here and say, guys, I was wrong. I was wholeheartedly wrong. But based on this season, based on everything that has happened, if it's just, it has to be Guy. It has to be Guy. Guys, the number one thing we learn about period pieces, the number one thing we learn is that the moment that there is a emphasis on hands holding, hands being close to each other, slow motion on the hands of two people touching, that means that they are attached. They are endgame. That's the number one. I mean, guys, when they were dancing, when they were slow dancing and she was asking him like why he left that night, or why he left after she told him the truth about her, about how her mom isn't her real mom, and it could be a whole disaster if anyone found out. That whole scene was literally cementing the idea in my brain that they are endgame, because they put an emphasis on the hands then, and then they did another emphasis on the hands in episode 8 when they were on the side of the building, like laying back, and they had the pinky and the pinky next to each other, but they couldn't hold hands. I was like, guys, come on. Like, it has to be him. It can't be Theo. It's just not. Second, she and him lock eyes first. She sees him and he sees her. And when they see each other, there is the glimpse in the eye right away that says that these two are going to be connected till the end of time. And number 3, one of the biggest things, and if Bridgerton taught us anything, specifically Bridgerton season 2, is that when somebody says, they drive me crazy, they annoy me, but they make me laugh, that is love, baby. That is number 3. End game. I'm sorry. They're end game. And there's so many people out there, and guys, I feel so passionate about this, because there are so many people who say, oh, no, it has to be Theo. What? Were we watching the same show? Because clearly the only end game here, unless Guy dies, is Guy and Nan.
That's my opinion!
It's not that like, oh, Guy's perfect or Theo's perfect, because none of them are perfect. They're all have their own flags. But at the same time, I'm like, am I missing something? Because this show has clearly outlined that her love is stronger for Guy. They built that friendship first. She trusts him. They're vulnerable together. They talk about everything together. They talk about their insecurities. They're vulnerable with each other. From the beginning, they connect. They're like best friends. They're like, it makes sense. And when she meets Theo, it's not that like they don't connect. Like you could see that she connects with him as well, but it's just not the same. And no matter how many times she tries to convince herself that she loves him or that she should be with him, in her heart of hearts, it's Guy. It is. It just is. And this whole season, like Theo, I liked Theo and I want the best for him. I want him to find love. I do. I just don't think that Nan is the one for him. She's not. Even though after like 2 episodes after meeting her, he said he loved her, right? So like he says he loves her, but I'm like, no, I think you like the idea of her. I don't think you actually love her. And he pissed me off. And a lot of people keep saying like, oh, I feel bad for him, I feel bad for him. Yes, I feel bad for him, especially after the finale, right? The finale was pretty fucked up. The fact that his mom and both Nan were like, okay, fine, well, Nan specifically only married him so that her sister could escape and she could, help her because she was escaping with an unborn child and escaping from her husband, big deal. And the Duke's mom, or Theo's mom, knew this as well. And she told her like, well, if you want to save your sister, you're going to have to marry Theo.
The cheek, the nerve, the gall, the audacity, and the gumption.
Because only with Theo are you going to be able to have the power to protect your sister. So, fucked up. But I understood what she did because, this is a show about women empowerment and being there for your friends and your family. And she did that above love because she could have been like, sorry, I'm going to leave with both of them and I'm going to leave with Guy and then that's going to be it. No, she needed to protect her sister and that meant having to marry Theo, which was a huge sacrifice. And a lot of people might call her a villain for that. But at the same time, like, I get why she did it, and it broke my heart. Back to what I was saying is that idea that, like, Theo, at the beginning of the show, was great, but then the moment he finds out he gets that telegram, and he opens it up, he doesn't tell Nan, he doesn't tell Guy, he holds it in, and then manipulates the situation. Because you can't tell me he didn't manipulate her into marrying him in a way. Because he basically knows that Guy is in love with Nan. And what does he do? At that poker party, he calls out his shit and says, oh, well, man, what's interesting, you said you were going to go to America to find a wealthy woman to, help you rebuild. Knowing full well that he had met her in the United States and makes her now be like, I can't trust him, I can't be with him. That's the number one red flag. 2, he was giving and yeah, he was hurt. I get it, he was hurt. But he manipulated the situation a ton of times by fucking just digging the knife and putting Guy on this really low pedestal so that Nan could be like, oh, I don't know if I should trust him. I don't know if I like this guy. No, I did not like that behavior. And I knew it was gonna happen because he's a guy and he's hurt, so he's gonna, do things to hurt Guy because Guy hurt him. And another thing is like that relationship, like it was too easy. Y'all, when they kissed for the first time, it was too easy. In period pieces like this, if it's easy, then there's no show. If it's easy for you to kiss for the first time, if it's easy for you to get together for the first time, that means that it's just in this period piece, in these kind of series, if it's easy, it is not the end game. And that brings me to, I think, my 4th reason as to why Guy is her end game. The 4th reason, and I just came up with it right now because I thought about it, is the fact that her kiss with Theo, the first kiss they had, it was too easy. They were just in front of the water and they looked at each other and they were like happy, like, yeah, everything's great, let's kiss, right? There was no oomph. There was no really oh my God, I've been waiting for this, right? That didn't happen. And yeah, we had that brief little moment when they were in the paint room for the first time and they kind of get close and they're going to kiss, but they don't. That was really nice. It was very tension filled. And I was like, okay, great. They're going to make us wait. But then when it actually happened, it was too easy. And it was completely different to the first time when we had our kiss with Guy and Nan. That kiss felt earned. That kiss felt like there was a yearning. That kiss felt like, oh my God, I've been wanting to do this. Like it's what this period piece of work is supposed to show. If you're not getting that with another character, they are not the end game. The end game is the person where there is the angst, where there's the tension, where there's the release of finally kissing that person that you've been wanting to kiss, but you don't. The moment there's that big declaration and they're both fighting with each other, that they're finally like, you know what, we have to do it. Oh, I lived for that first kiss up on the castle that they were at. It was so good. It was such an amazing moment that declared even more why Guy is endgame. There's no competition right now. I don't care how many times we see scenes of them, of Theo and Nan looking deep into each other's eyes. He is not endgame. And I will die on that hill that he is not. And if he is, I guess I'm dying on the hill because No, 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 no. He is not Endgame. So after that, you probably know which team I am. I am definitely Team Guy. I am not Team Theo, but I am Team Theo. He deserves better, and he deserves happiness. Because yeah, like, I am Team Guy, but yeah, it is all fucked up in the end, right? You have his now wife and his best friend almost like kind of having an affair in a way, even though, you know, she sent Guy away with her sister to escape from James, right? But the night before, I mean, technically she was his fiance and they, you know, got it on and she was like, I'm gonna run away with you. Like, it was pretty wrong. It's a pretty shitty situation. Not gonna deny that. So I do think that he deserves happiness, but I just don't think it's with Nan. I just don't think that she's the one for him. And season 2 is an interesting. I'm very excited for season 2 because I'm really wondering what's gonna happen when he finds out that, you know, she married him really out of convenience in a way, or out of a plan. It wasn't necessarily because she loved him. And I think that's going to destroy him because he does love her. Okay, so now let's move on to our other storylines now that we've got that out of the way. I want to talk about our other storylines. Specifically, I want to start off talking about our storyline with Conchita and Richard and the family dynamic. So as I said in the beginning of this episode, you know, Conchita's now married into this family that absolutely hates her, doesn't accept her for who she is. Obviously, there's a lot of racial undertones in this because it's one of the reasons probably why they do not like her, even though they deny it, is because she is of color. She is also loud and American and just not like them. And, you know, the whole season, I was waiting for Richard to finally just stand up to his mom, who was absolutely horrible. Both the parents were horrible.
She's got a point.
Finally to stand up to them and be like, this is my wife. You have to respect her. And if not, I will leave. I will live my own life. I don't care. I am leaving. And it took forever for them to get there. I think it was episode 8 when he finally stood up to them and was like, you know what? This is my wife. This is my family now. I'm separating myself from you. And yeah, it was a wonderful moment. I was so happy for it to then be ripped apart from us and cut short, because then we find out that the dad is dying, and that means that he now has to be the lord of the family, and his wife and Conchita now is going to be the lady of the house. So unfortunately, they're not going to be able to escape, which is just annoying because I want them to. I want them to just leave this life. I wanted them to just move back to the States and live their lives together, which is what they were going to do. The whole first 7 episodes, it was just him like being like, oh, I don't know if she can fit in, but I love her. And I'm like, okay, well then fucking stand up to her damn family. I hope season 2, they're able to just make their lives the best, because I can't stand them. I can't stand the mom. The mom is so horrible. She's absolutely horrible. And speaking of horrible, let's talk about James and Ginny / Lizzie, I guess. So James is also horrible, just like the mom. He is a creep. He is manipulative. He is controlling. He is abusive. He is a horrible, horrible human being. And he is married to, unfortunately, Ginny, who Ginny at first is like, oh, I just wanted to marry and find love, and this guy wants me. Yeah, he wanted you because he knew that he could control you. Because the moment he marries her, he has her under his thumb. To society, he's all like happy and shows that he loves her or whatever, but then in her ear, he'll be like, this is a disgrace, and I need your mom to apologize to me for this, you know, horrible, horrible party that they threw us. This is a disgrace. And she wants to be loved so much that she's willing to let this guy control her and manipulate her. And it's not till the end of the season that she starts to feel very, very caged in her marriage, because she starts to realize, oh shit. Not only have I betrayed my friends, I've betrayed my sister, because it's because of her that everyone finds out that Nan was kind of like a bastard child, I guess, in a way. It's sad when you finally see Ginny figure it out, because she wants to escape so much. There's this one scene in episode 8 when she tries to escape, And then he finds her when they're trying to escape, and she's like freaking out. And then he's like, oh, what are you doing? And he likes looking at her. And then like at nighttime, she's like awake in the bed with her eyes open, like looking the other way, like just wanting to escape. And you just see him with his eyes open, staring at her, like watching her to make sure she doesn't leave. He is physically abusive. I didn't realize how physically abusive it was until she goes to Nan that night and like tells her and shows her like her arms, and they're all bruised. And it's so sad because then she says, but he's a good guy. He's just wants everything in order. And when I don't act a certain way, like she's so manipulated. She's been so manipulated by him and controlled by him that she thinks he's just angry in the moment, but he's a good person. And it's like, no, he's not. He's a horrible human. And seeing those traits later on as well, when, you know, the next morning he's like, that wasn't me. I am so sorry. And he gives her a dress and stuff. But then you know that that's not, you know that that's a lie. You know for a fact it is. He is controlling her. He is a horrible human being. And you know, we actually don't find out how horrible he is, and this now leads into my conversation with Lizzie, is Lizzie at first is really into James, and James is into her, and you don't know at first anything about him. You just think that he's like a guy who's like, you know, likes this girl, and he's like dancing with her and stuff, and then they basically go and play like hide and seek in the house, basically, like everyone's playing, and then they run into each other, and he was like, oh, well, I'm pretending to look for her, but I was actually looking for you. And he's making it all cute, whatever, and then they go into the room, and like they're about to kiss, and she's like, oh, do you want to close the door? And they're like, you know, they're gonna mess around, right? Like, and I'm like thinking like, ooh, they're gonna mess around. And at the same time that is happening, you have Mabel and Honoria, who are in a closet themselves, and she tells Honoria, like, oh yeah, no, Lizzie, and like they're interested in him. And she's like, no, like, don't trust him. He's a monster. And when she says that, they then go back to the scene of them in the room, and he tells her to get on the couch and get naked. And she is freaked out, and you see it in her eyes. Like, she's like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? What is happening? And he just like tells her like to get naked slowly, and it's really sad. And then a couple scenes later, you go back, and she's like on the bed, like naked, and he's just like sitting at a chair, like watching her because he wants that control. Oh my God, it was the biggest reveal ever. When that was revealed, I was like, oh my God. That's when, to me, honestly, the show really got good, even though it was like a really negative moment. But that's, to me, when the show got serious. And I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this. We're going here. Okay. There's going to be one of these characters. And I applauded the show for going there because I felt like it was also important to show that side of society of men controlling women as well, other than it just being like, oh, you're a woman, you can't do anything, right? I liked that they also were able to go there and show a relationship and show this guy who is actually physically abusive, mentally abusive to women. I thought that was a hell of a thing for the show to do because we don't really see that in Bridgerton, really, right? And from that, you have Lizzie, who's then completely traumatized after that because she's been sexually assaulted by this guy who's now going to marry one of her best friends. And then you have that whole scene in, I think it's episode 6, where she finally tells him, Ginny, which to me is baffling that she took so long to tell Ginny that she had been sexually assaulted by this guy. And then at that point, when she tells her, she's been so like mentally fucked and manipulated that she actually believes that James didn't do that. That it was her fault, that it's, you know, like she doesn't want to believe that James would do that to her friend, right? And it's really sad to watch. And I felt so bad for Lizzie. But I know that there's also that scene when she has that conversation with Guy in the kitchen. And of course, this Guy's just such an easy guy to talk to. He's just easy to talk to. And, you know, he kind of helps her see that she needs to let go of the guilt that she feels because he's the one that should feel guilty. He's the one that should feel horrible. And after that, she kind of decides to like play the game and be like, "Oh, you think you're gonna be fucking with me? Absolutely not." They have that scene she has the scene in the maze where she gets the handkerchief and he comes over thinking that it's Ginny looking for him and it's not her. She just looks at him and is like, "You want to play that game? Bitch, I got you." Oh, when she gave him that face, oh my God, I lived. I said, "Yes, Lizzie, get him. Get that fucker. Get him." Oh my God. And then even at the end when Ginny ends up escaping and he's in the church and Lizzie's at the altar and she looks at him like, "Checkmate." Oh my God. Oh my God. It was like a game of chess. And she said, "Oh, bitch, you think you got me? Oh, hell no, I got you." Oh.
Slay! Slay!
Oh my God, it was such a fuck you moment that I lived for. I was so fucking happy. And then we have Mabel, who, like I said, has this, kind of like a secret relationship going with Honoria, who is part of, Dick's family, who is uptight, doesn't talk, they're serious. And she meets Mabel, who makes her feel like she can actually be loved by someone. And it's so sad and also beautiful to see because you have Mabel who like really likes her, but is also like, "I'm so tired of pretending and being in this world that I have to pretend and I can't be who I am." Oh my God, it was so, so sad. And then it was also really, really sad when we had that scene where the mom catches her making out with the maid in the bathroom and then the mom acts like she didn't see anything and is kind of just like putting a Band-Aid over it. Like, "I didn't see my daughter." Like, I'm not accepting that my daughter is a lesbian, right? I'm just going to pretend I didn't see anything and we're going to find her husband, right? So fucking sad. Broke my heart. And then you have the complete opposite moment when she tells Lizzie that she is queer, that she likes women, and Lizzie accepts her. And she's like, "You're not disgusted?" And she's like, "No." She's like, "You're beautiful. You should be you." And just thinking about it right now, I was like almost started tearing up. I was like, oh my God, because that was the moment. That's what she needed. She needed to finally tell someone and for someone to accept her so that she could accept herself and then go back to, Honoria and be like, "Hey, I like you, you like me. Let's do this in society. Let's be ourselves. Let's stop hiding." And I was like, oh my God, it was a beautiful moment. Like, I was like almost tearing up. I was like, oh my God. And this whole show really made me think like, my God, I cannot imagine being a queer person in this time period. Like, the amount of closeted people that existed is so crazy that we don't even know. So yeah, I think that this show did a really good job at really, really focusing on women empowerment in the face of like adversity and with all these fucking men who want to control their lives, who want to tell them how to act, or this English society that's telling them that they should conform to their lifestyle and be like them. They're like, peace, absolutely not. I'm going to be me and you can accept me or not. I love seeing the women friendships. That was also really great, which other shows don't really have. Like, Bridgerton doesn't necessarily have. Like, they have friendships, but like a group of women like banding together in face of adversity. Loved that. I also think I think Guy and Nan, they served when they had it to serve. That episode 8, when they finally get together and he goes up to her window and he proclaims his love to her again and is just like, "I want Theo to be happy, but not as much as I want you to be happy." And he like says that he wants to escape with her and she says yes. And then they consummate their love. And then even the ending, I think they landed really well on this show between them because it was sad, but almost hopeful at the same time. I never felt like it was like just completely sad or that she just married Theo and didn't marry him for this and reason. Like, I liked that Guy knew the reason why she had to marry Theo. I love that he supported her. I love that he was like, "I will take care of your sister." I loved that he, still told her even in the end, like, "When my eyes are open, when my eyes are closed, like, I'm always going to be seeing you. Our love's going to prevail. Like, in this world, like, we will," basically he's saying to her, like, "We will be together, even if it's not now, at some point we're going to find each other again and we're going to be together." somehow. And she says, I love you. And he says, I love you too. And I was like, oh my God. The ending stuck the landing with that, because you had a big fuck you to James because Ginny was able to escape with her unborn child and leave that horrible relationship and just escape for a while. I think they probably, based on like season 2, I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, it's going to be like at least like a year or something, because it's 9 months to have a baby, right? So she's going to be gone for a long time. But they served the first kiss. They served the love declarations. Fucking Guy was killing it with the love declarations. Like, the amount of love declarations in this whole season, I think he gave like 3 love declarations.
Editing melody here. So I have seen this show now in its entirety twice, and I've seen all of their scenes a million times. And yes, the love declarations are still serving. But I also just watched My Fault London, and after watching that movie, I was like, okay, I gotta look up this guy. I looked up Matthew Broome, and I found out that The Buccaneers was his first freaking role on TV. I don't know what they're fucking feeding English people at theater. I wish I was fed that when I went to fucking theater school, because what they are doing there, they are producing just factions of men that are going to the school of yearning. I mean, it's baffling that this is his first part. Had no idea. The man is killing it. Killed it in this. Can't wait to see him in season 2. Killed it in My Fault London. Can't wait to continue those movies. I am baffled at the fact that this show was his first show ever. And I mean, yeah, I don't know what school he went to, but he clearly went to the school of the Anthony Bridgerton School of Yearning, because it is absolutely baffling how good he was in the show. Like, I'm at a loss of words of how good he was. Baffled.
He gave the first one when they first kissed, then technically another love declaration, basically told her in front of Theo, which I hated that scene though, absolutely hated that scene, in front of Theo, told Nan what the telegram said, and then obviously at the end, I guess it was like 4 declarations. Then at the end, when he goes to her window, declaration, and then he declared his love once more before they said goodbye to each other, which again was really sad. Gave us a great cliffhanger, because they know that now season 2 is going to be this whole thing where Theo has no idea that Nan married him to, like, sacrificed herself for her sister and married him just so that she now has the power to protect her sister. Not because she necessarily only loves him and married him for love, which is really sad, but that's a great setup for season 2, because his character, there's going to have to be a lot of character development there. There's going to have to be a lot going on between them as a character as well, them as a married couple, because is she going to start to fall for Theo more and get to know him more, to the fact where it really does become a more of a, like, who should I end up with, right? There's so many different, it's just set up season 2 really, really well. Now, the one thing I'm going to talk about that I didn't like, there were some cheesy moments. There was also that, like, moment that was written where Theo made Guy tell Nan in front of him what the telegram said. I'm like, okay, why was that? I hated it. It was very uncomfortable. I didn't understand why he wanted to be there. Wow, his best friend is like telling his now fiance that he's in love with her. Absolutely wild to me. And then you had them fight. He threw like a cupcake at his head, and it was just like funny. It was just like that. It got a little bit comical. Just a bit comical in that. I was like, okay, really? Really? Okay. Okay, so let's talk about what we are hoping for season 2. I'm very happy that I saw this, and like I just binged the whole thing in 2 days. It was just easy. Now we're gonna have to go back to weekly episodes where it's kind of like, oh God, I have to wait. I have to wait every week to watch an episode, which is gonna be rough, but I grew up in a time period where you had to wait. You watched 1 episode a week, and that was it. Based on the preview that we saw, it looks like we're gonna see, Nan kind of have to accept the fact that she is now Theo's wife, and she has to step up to the occasion. She has to step up to being like, okay, well, I am the Duchess now, and I have to play that role. So we do see a lot of her being like, I'm gonna make some rules, I'm gonna tell you what I think, and there's this amazing shot of her in this red dress and this like amazing hair, and everyone else is dressed in black. I don't know if this is a funeral, I don't know. Which, by the way, you do see a gun, you do see someone getting shot. I personally think that James is gonna die, and you know what? I'm fine with that. what else did we see in the trailer? We see, obviously, her being like, okay, I have to accept the fact that I have to be in this duty. I have to be his wife. And she says that she has to let Guy go. Now, of course, we all say we're going to let Guy go, but you're not, because he's going to come back and you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I forgot how much I love him. And it's going to be the end of it. Like, you're not going to be able to resist him. You're not going to be able to resist the love that you actually have for him. Just saying. You do see a scene of them together. You also do see a scene of Theo and Nan, like, it looks like they're consummating their marriage. You also see a lot of Theo, like, drinking, a lot of Theo, like, trying to be like, I wanted to find a woman that actually knew who I was. He looks really good in the trailer. Am I gonna lie? He looks like he got a nice little makeover. He looks good. He looks very a la Darcy, which I'm here for. And I hope he does. I hope he finds love. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be with Nan, but someone says that. A lot of people out on the internet are saying Theo and Lizzie, and I'm like, you know what? I'm here for it. I would be happy. I would be extremely happy to see Theo and Lizzie together, because she deserves fucking happiness, and so does he, not with the other people that they're with. So, you never know. I'd be happy. I'd be here for it. Yes, I would. But at the end of the day, I'm here for Guy and I'm here for Nan, and that is what I'm hoping to see in season 2. I hope they make it. I hope they run away together. I love seeing, like, her just stand her ground and be like, there's like this one thing she says in the trailer where she says, like, no man should be able to own his wife. I said, oh, she's gonna be putting down bars. She's gonna be putting down rules. I can't wait to see that shit go down. I also cannot wait to see her with that red dress, because the trailer it hyped me. The trailer hyped me. I cannot wait. I think it comes out on June. I want to say it's June 18th. So yeah, because I'm recording this on the first day of June. So in about 17 days, we're going to get a trailer for this. It's going to be a packed summer. Let me know. Are you Team Guy or are you Team Theo? In a comment below. I know there's a lot of Team Theos out there, so if you are, let me know why you're Team Theo. Let me know why you're Team Guy. Let's all be kind to each other in the comments. This is just a show. It is for entertainment purposes, and everyone is allowed to have their own opinion. Just like I said in my Summer I Turned Pretty videos, right? You are allowed to be Team Jer and you are allowed to be Team Conrad. It is fine. You are allowed to like who you like, and it's not a problem. There's no hate. There's only love and opinion. That is it. And if you like The Summer I Turned Pretty, you should watch this, because I did reactions to all of season 1 and season 2 on this channel. So highly recommend you go and check that out. If you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my commentary for the Buccaneers and for The Summer I Turned Pretty. It's going to be a really packed summer here. I'm really, really excited for everything that we're going to cover and everything we're going to talk about. So make sure you click that like button if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!